That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, I need to give y'all a big warning. In this video, I'm going to be running a lot of victory laps. I'm going to be saying, look at me, I was right, y'all were wrong. So what I need y'all to do is I need y'all to go to the comment section. You need to reply with the dumbest thing I said this past week. Please keep me grounded. Please come out here and put me in my place. Let me know the dumbest thing I told you going into week 10, something I was horribly wrong about, because I'm going to be focusing mainly on what I got right this week because there was a lot of it, but of course we got a lot of stuff wrong as well. And yeah, guys, also, while y'all are down there, please make sure you drop a like on the video. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell next to the subscribe button. Nobody works as hard for y'all as I do. 3 to 4 videos every single day, a live stream every single night. Please make sure y'all are going down there, just spending 3 seconds to drop that like on the video. Okay, so let's get into 10 lessons that we learned in week 10, and let's start it off with T. Higgins being the wide receiver 1 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, if y'all go back and you look at my rest of season wide receiver rankings, I had Tyler Boyd all the way down there after wide receiver 20, and I got so much hate in the comments. People telling me, Mason, Tyler Boyd is legit. Mason, Tyler Boyd is a low-end wide receiver 1. What the hell are you doing with him down here? And I was saying, guys, if you looked at what T. Higgins was able to accomplish going into the bye week, if you just assumed rational coaching from Zach Taylor in this overall Bengals organization, you would have assumed that we were going to have T. Higgins coming out of the bye week with a much larger role on this offense, as he looked so impressive as a 21-year-old rookie in the first half of the season. That's exactly what we saw. T. Higgins going over 100 yards, scoring that touchdown, almost getting double-digit targets. With Higgins, I think that he's a player from now on. You need to have him in your starting lineup. I was a little bit worried about him this week just because the matchup was brutal against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Clearly, it worked out. Going forward, we need T. Higgins in our starting lineups. Okay, so now another thing that I was so right about, and y'all gave me crap about it for the past 2 weeks, but who has been our number 1 sell high player for the past 2 weeks now? Travis Fulgham. Guys, Travis Fulgham is dead. Jalen Reagor came in here. Jalen Reagor is the wide receiver 1. Travis Fulgham had 1 reception, 8 yards, 5 targets, and honestly, a lot of those targets that he was accredited with were just Carson Wentz getting tackled, throwing it in his direction so he could avoid intentional grounding. I mean, Travis Fulgham was entirely taken out of the game plan here. I think that we can expect Jalen Reagor to be the wide receiver 1 on this offense going forward. I know Travis Fulgham had the much tougher cornerback matchup, but still, at the end of the day, you got to put up points when you get that opportunity. Travis Fulgham did not. Jalen Reagor did. Jalen Reagor, currently 21 years old, already proving to be a better talent. There's no reason why we are going to see them go back to giving Travis Fulgham over 10 targets a game. I really hope y'all sold high whenever I told y'all to. Okay. So now our next lesson learned is the Houston Texans truly cannot stop the run. I mean, both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt went for over 100 rushing yards this game. Clearly, we know that the Cleveland Browns offense is going to be funneled through these 2 running backs, and I was actually a little bit worried that we were going to have this offense overall capped just because Odell Beckham Jr. does not provide that deep threat ability that's going to make the safety stay back. They're going to be able to crowd up and stack the box. That's what happened this game. But if you watch the game, I mean, the Houston Texans could not tackle to save their life. It was absolutely embarrassing on the behalf of the Houston Texans defense. I think now we have to just look at what we've seen through 10 weeks so far. We should have really said this about a month ago because it's been a trend all of 2020, but the Houston Texans defense is absolutely atrocious at tackling. They cannot stop running backs. Please play the running backs against them. Okay, so now our next lesson learned, something that I got entirely wrong in 2020, but Jonathan Taylor's dead. I mean, Jonathan Taylor coming out, getting less than 10 touches this past game. Really, he has 1 highlight run, and a lot of people want to hyper-focus in on it. No, I mean, Jonathan Taylor cannot come in your starting lineup anytime soon. I will say we actually got a lot of questions after that Thursday night game asking if they should go out there and try to cut Jonathan Taylor for a hot waiver wire running back. No, I don't think you can do that. I think you have to keep Jonathan Taylor on your roster just because at the end of the day, he does have that extremely impressive profile where he could be a workhorse running back. It's just not what we're seeing right now, so he's better be staying on your bench. Okay, so now another thing that we got so right this week. I've already gotten so many DMs on Instagram and Twitter thanking me about it, but Diontae Johnson and Chase Claypool are going to be must-start wide receivers for us every single week. Like I said in so many live streams this week, guys, we actually saw James Washington back in week 9 get all of his snaps completely taken out of this offense. Diontae Johnson and Chase Claypool are both every down wide receivers. Diontae Johnson consistently leading this team in targets. Both of these guys are players that need to be in your starting lineup each and every week. And really, they are the main reasons why we are going to be so high on Ben Roethlisberger going forward compared to consensus, just because he really looks like he may just have the best weapons in the NFL outside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, so now, guys, this is something that I got wrong. I've been telling y'all to go out there and buy this player for the past month now, and it looks like we just have to throw in the towel because Michael Thomas just does not look like he is that elite top 3 wide receiver option anymore. I still think that he is going to be a wide receiver 1 for the rest of the season. I actually think that Jameis Winston could be an upgrade in at quarterback. Jameis Winston is very similar to the Ryan Fitzpatrick type quarterback, where we know it's not necessarily going to help his own NFL team because he is going to be causing those turnovers. He is going to be putting the team in a very bad situation, but he's going to be airing the ball out. He's a DGAF quarterback, and that would be very, very beneficial to Michael Thomas. Okay, so now our next lesson learned is Brandon Aiyuk looks like a legit NFL wide receiver. I mean, he absolutely dominated the target share in San Francisco this past week, getting 14 targets. I think Brandon Aiyuk becomes a player that we're going to have to monitor the situation with Deebo Samuel coming back in. But if he continues to see this type of target share, there's no way, regardless of how bad the San Francisco 49ers look, you can get away from starting Brandon Aiyuk every week. Okay, now, guys, if y'all have been following the channel for a while, y'all know our number 1 running back going into the NFL draft in 2020 was DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift really emerging. How many times have I said that DeAndre Swift is this year's Miles Sanders, where he had that small role at the first half of the season, but going into the fantasy football playoffs, he takes over as that feature 3-down running back. He provides you that elite receiving option in that Detroit Lions field, and at the same time, he is getting usage at the goal line. Everything that you would ever want to see from DeAndre Swift is happening. Over 20 touches this game, almost 150 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre Swift truly looks like he is the talent, and he's playing in the offense where he has the ability just to completely take over and win people their leagues this year. Okay, so now our next running back, guys, this is the most polarizing. This is the hardest running back for me to evaluate. Please go down to the comments and let me know what you think. But J.D. McKissic, I don't even know what to say here. J.D. McKissic getting 15 targets yet again this week. I mean, he, I believe, saw 14 targets last week. What kind of usage is this? I mean, we are consistently seeing Alex Smith look to check the ball down to J.D. McKissic. I think at this point, we have to say that if you have J.D. McKissic on your roster, he is probably going to be in strong consideration for either your flex spot or your running back 2 spot. I mean, can y'all imagine if we were seeing Antonio Gibson get this type of usage out of the backfield? Antonio Gibson would be a top 5 running back. I mean, I don't really know what to say here, other than, guys, we have to take note. J.D. McKissic, 15 targets. Very rarely will you ever see a running back getting more than 13 targets in consecutive weeks, and now it's happening in Washington with J.D. McKissic. Okay, now our next lesson learned. This was a big theme that we had in all the live streams this past week, but Tom Brady is going to lead this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, and this is going to be one of the most prolific offenses in the NFL. I told so many people to get Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown into their starting lineups this past week. I honestly was still fading Mike Evans just because with Mike Evans, his target share has been so low in games that Chris Godwin has been active. but still, it looks like with the production Brady's going to provide in this offense, it's going to be hard to not start any of these players any given week, just because even if we would have seen one of those touchdowns go from Cameron Brate to another wide receiver instead, I mean, we would have seen all three of these wide receivers been near the top of the fantasy football leaderboard this week. Going to be hard to get away from those Tampa Bay Buccaneers players. Okay, now our last lesson learned, and this is something that goes without saying, but I have to bring it up just because of that incredible play. DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray look like they are the best stack that you could have in fantasy football right now. I don't think there is a wide receiver quarterback combination that you would prefer, even over Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf. I mean, it does not matter if you drafted both Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins in fantasy football drafts in 2020. Congrats. It looks like you're probably going to win your league. Now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, if y'all did, please make sure you go down there, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and also, guys, please hit that bell next to the subscribe button because we will be going live every single night this week. And whenever we go live, y'all know for the first 10 minutes of every single live stream, we only answer those general chat questions. So if you want your question answered right away, make sure you have those notifications turned on. But yeah, that's all I got. I really hope I'll see y'all in one of those live streams this week.